Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. My homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's pay our respect to our teacher, Pinatla Kusaminansi, also by saying sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. Today we are in a new series. We are gonna learn about the 6 sense faculties or the 6 sense bases. This knowledge will help you to understand how the sufferings create and how the attachments create in our mind and how to let go those things, and in the same time this knowledge will help you to in future we will learn on dependent origination, and this knowledge will help you to understand the dependent origination, and we can it's like calibrate our our knowledge, like we have learned on 5 aggregates, and we have learned on the 6 sense faculties, so then we can have a knowledge like a kind of a complete knowledge on the basic teachings of the Buddha. When we learn about the 6 sense faculties, the roots where we kind the references, all the where it comes from, this book. This is in Sinhala, but if you go through, there are English translations on from Bhikkhu Bodhi and Bhikkhu Sujato in Sutta Central. You can go through. This is the Sanyukta Nikaya, the linked discourses, fourth book. In this six, there are around 2000 scripts or the suttas. From that, the about 6 sense faculties, there are like mainly like I think like 200 suttas. So first let's have a knowledge, like a basic knowledge on 6 sense faculties. Then let's try to go through the in the order where how it grouped in this book. So actually the books are not created when Buddha was alive, but this is the way after the after Buddha passed away. There was a special council, Buddha's discourses grouped in and categorized, and so these books are from that direct teachings. So then we will have a kind of a good knowledge on this. So when we learn this, so try to learn like we are learning something new. Why do we need to learn something new? So first of all, don't think, oh, Bhante is going to teach us this huge book. No, don't think like that, right? This will be a very I'll teach. It's very simple and easy way to you to understand. And so what you have to do is think like, so when you if we have if when we feel suffering, as an example, think that Mike feel kind of a suffering in his heart. So he is going to see the Buddha, and Buddha is there. And when you meet the Buddha, you don't ask, you don't go, your first intention is not to learn this whole bunch of teachings. Your first intention is to eradicate the suffering. So, uh, so likewise, open your heart to the truth or the reality of the life, to understand that our first and foremost idea is to find understand the Four Noble Truths. So the suffering, cause for the suffering, cessation of the suffering, path to cessation of suffering. So that's why we are learning. And one day Buddha saying a nice quote like, if you would like to learn these teachings, like all these, like not only 8,000 script, all the teachings, there are, you can do it even late, also like after some time even, but you have to be with the Buddha or the Kalyana Mitra or the noble friend, not to improve your knowledge, but to receive the 10 special talking. That 10 special talking reflect that that teachings contains called the Appicha Katha, Santutti Katha, Sansaggas Katha. That means like there are special 10 talkings, which these talkings gives you energy to end the suffering, or the for it creates kind of a energy in you to attain the enlightenment, like in the sufferings. So for that you have to also. So as an example, think that as a Zoom gathering, we are talking on what, something you like think that we are going to talk about pop culture and pop songs. So when you are being associated with the someone who teach or talk about pop culture or pop songs, you will have a good knowledge and on that, and you will be, after that you will play your Spotify and listen to the pop songs. But when you associate with the noble friend, what you receive when you are learning from us, you will feel that whenever you feel suffering, whenever you feel pain in you, instead of pointing someone else to the reason, finding a reason from the outside, you want to find within yourself what is the cause for the suffering, how that suffering creates, how can I overcome from this. Then that's why we have to learn these things. Other than that, this knowledge, just the knowledge is nothing. Usually our teacher Pinat Lakusanasi does not like much uh, to as talk with like he would like to talk with devotees, teach Dhamma to the people, but he does not like much to be with uh, like scholar level professors also. Why? Buddhist teacher saying that they learn teachings to just to talk about the arguments which created, like their first and foremost intention is not to find a solution to their own problem. They just like it's like a scholar thing to them, to debate, to argue, and create a new theory on something likewise. So actually these teachings are for what? To find the solution for our own problem. So that does not mean that becoming a professor or learning this is wrong. There are so many good devotees who learn and practice the professors, and they are meditating with us, and I know so many good friends, and I have so many good friends. Don't misunderstand that I did not discriminate their knowledge and so things, right? Right. Okay. And I like to see people who are learning these things and with the right intention, because the right intention should be to end the suffering, and knowledge is really important. Why do the knowledge important? When there are people who has good knowledge, they can teach, or they can take these teachings to the another group of people without like hesitation. They don't have doubts because they know what is the cause and effect and what Buddha really taught. So knowledge is really important. Okay. While saying so, let's dive into six sense faculties. Okay. Now it's up to you. Can anyone come forward and say what are the six sense faculties?
I think there isn't your ears, eyes, nose, tongue, body, and mind.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Josh. And we call that, when we say the sense faculties, those are the inner senses, or the sense faculties which receive the senses from the outer world. So there is a sutta called sub, or the everything. In there, like all the, as a human being, or shall we say like a living being, there are 6 sense faculties we receive the senses. Those are eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. Right. Okay, there are, those are the internal. There are external senses, like it called the sense faculties, but it's not sensing actually. It's those are the things receiving from inner sense faculties. What are those external sense faculties? Yes, Jonathan.
So forms cognizable by the eye, sounds cognizable by the ear, smells cognizable by the nose, tactile objects cognizable by the body, and mind objects cognizable by the mind, and taste objects cognizable by the tongue.
Very good. Very good, Jonathan. Right. Let's think about the order later. When we keep on learning the order, we'll just place it. We don't mind that. Right. Now we know that, so that there are 6 sense faculty, inner and the outer. So with this, we should know one thing, so that based on the inner sense faculty and the outer sense faculty, when attention is there, there is something rising. What is it? Anyone? Yeah, Jonathan.
Consciousness?
Yes, Shani. Very good. That's a consciousness. Okay, now let's go to the whiteboard. I'll share kind of a. Okay. Right. You all can see this, right? Oh.
Yes, Bante, we can see.
Okay, usual thing when I lost the pen. 1 second. Okay, just found it. Right. Now we learned that there are 6 sense faculties. So these are the 6 sense faculties. So the outer sense faculties are these. Right. So then if we talk only about eye and sight, because based on eye and sight, so the consciousness arises. It says Chakkung Paticca Rupecha, eye. With the help of eye and the eyesight, consciousness arises. Uppajjati Chakku Vijnana. So to this whole thing, we say a name which is contact, or the passa. Passa means Tinnan Sangati, collaborate of 3 things. eye, sight, and eye consciousness. Okay, can anyone, this is the eye contact. Can anyone say what is the ear contact? What are the three things collaborating for ear contact? Anyone?
I'm just going to say sound.
Right. Ear, sound, and consciousness. It should be those three. Prasad understood?
Yep.
Okay. So, can anyone say on nose, nose contact?
Nose, smell, and consciousness.
Very good, Satish. And then tongue contact.
Taste, tongue taste, consciousness.
Very good. The nose, smell, and the consciousness. Okay, tongue. And then let's go directly to the mind. So that when we say the mind, remember in here I wrote the thought, but the thought means definitely not the volition, right? In intention, not in here. I just thought means like definitely the mind object. So it's like not what we are thinking, reason to think. So I think mind phenomena. That's what I find in so Bhikkhu Sujatos and translation. And let me check Bhikkhu Bodhi. Dhamma means in their ideas. That's what Bhikkhu Sujato was referring. So then what we have to understand that mind and mind object, or the anything that the idea is the not just thinking, the reason for to think in our mind. So when we say that, then mind contact, mind, thought, and mind consciousness. Okay, when there is contact, now we talk about here the eye contact. So there are three things happening because of this contact. One is feelings arising, and due to the big contact and contact fall, feelings fall. Can anyone remember the Pali term for the feelings?
Vedana.
Very good, Satish. That's Vedana. Okay. So you can just say, right? It doesn't matter, a couple of answers arises when you're interacting. And again, don't afraid to give the wrong answers because we are learning, because we don't know everything. So giving answers always create interactions, and it when we feel like when we give the wrong answers, like even though we try, it will be create some energy to remember in our mind. Okay, then due to the contact, perceptions arises. Can anyone remember the Pali term for the perception?
Sanya.
Sanya. Very good. An example, the metaphor for the sanya.
Mirage.
Very good. And then the volition, or the due to the contact, volition arises. Volition means that the intention, volitional formation. So what is the Pali term for it?
Sankara,
Sankhara. Very good. And metaphor for that?
Trying to cut a banana tree.
Right. Someone needed a very good wood, and but he or she is in a banana jungle and cutting trees, expecting some sort of a good wood in it. Likewise, our all the intentions, every intentions arise with this. I should somehow make it, and but at the end of that, it's just nothing. No special thing we achieved. Don't think like us like it, this is not when we say that all the volitions are same. Like sometimes you may feel like, oh, I should have a cup of tea or coffee. So then your mind saying like, hey, I should go to Starbucks or something, or I should make it by for myself. And then it always tells you you feel sleepy because you did not have your coffee. Likewise, even though after having it, you may get kind of energy, but you can find that our mind is like a craving for that, but after that it does not feel like a total satisfaction. Again a new volition arises and says, hey, cut another banana tree. That's how it works. And right now, okay, now find and tell me the 5 skandhas here. This is vedana khandha, this is sanya khandha, and this is Sankara Khandha. Where's the Vijnana Upadana Khandha and the Rupa Upadana Khandha?
Consciousness is a Vinya.
It's here. Where's the Rupa Upadana Khandha?
So the
Is it
Rupa,
easy?
form, no, sorry, I have a question. So the form of the khandhas, the 5 khandhas is all these internal 5 senses together? No, no,
Yeah, yes, you are correct. So then we see the eye and eyesight. Here is the Rupa Khandha categorized. So even when we say the mind also not arising itself, it need nama rupa together. So we can learn it in the dependent origination. So then we are learning 6 sense faculties, and again the same knowledge what we have learned in 5 skandhas. So we learned not some 2 different things. We learned the same thing, the same suffering or the cause for the suffering and the things. Okay. Before we dive into the next section, like now we are going to learn how the suttas, the Buddha discoursed about the six sense faculties. There are 200 discourses. First, let's go like first scripts, and then we can go with the special suttas, which has the special like main ideas. So before it, if you have any quick questions, it's time for that.
so I have a quick question.
Yes.
Yeah, for example, like feelings can exist without any perceptions. It doesn't mean that all have the violations, perceptions, feelings should come together when you have this contact.
Yeah, actually the feelings can't be there without contact, and then when the feelings are there, the perceptions and the volitions, all skandhas are rising. So these are there with the help of the other khandhas. So nothing is like there without anything. So as an example, if you feel any feeling, that feeling again has the perception also.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, Harold.
My question is, how do you explain things where you see things, you have but you don't use your eye, or taste things but you don't use your tongue, and so forth?
Can you ask the question again, please?
Make believe I have a picture in my mind,
Right.
of my mother, but
Yes,
I do not see her with my eyes.
true.
How is that classified?
Yeah, it's a mind and mind object. It's a memory and it's a mind object. Based on that, your consciousness arises. Based on that, your feelings about your mom, perceptions, volitions arises.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Bante, a question about nama rupa.
Yes.
In the case of so I and sights is easy for me to understand. But for something like ear and sound, so ear and sound represent namarupa.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It's try to understand like this. So, okay. Um, you just hear your mom's voice. Yeah. From your in your house and think that you both are not you are not in a house, think that you are in somewhere else, like think that you are having meal in Chipotle and suddenly you hear someone comes and order Chipotle and that's you know that's your mom and your friend also there and your friend does not know your mom and to him uh, someone like very negative, like no negative, the neutral feelings arises due to the contact because his namarupa create a ear and that ear just identify create perceptions about someone who's ordering something, but to you it's totally different, that the ear change based on the namarupa.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Okay. Then let's shall we dive into the suttas then? Okay, right. Um, I think I need the other translation because this does not have a Pali. Yes. Okay.
But they has to click side by side or like one.
Okay. Now it's there. So the first sutta, Eva means sutang. So I have heard Ekan Samayam Bhagava Savatya Viharati Jetavani. That means it says about the place where Buddha Tatrako Bhagava Bhikkhva Mantesi, the Buddha addressed the monks, Bhikkhavoti, then Venerable Sir, that's how the monks reply, Bhagavaita the Vocha, Chakung Bhikkhave Aniccam. So monks, the mendicants means the little monk, the eye is impermanent. So the which eye, which we learned a moment ago, Chakung Bhikkhave Aniccam, and Yadaniccan Tandukkam, what's impermanent is suffering. The I is impermanent and Yada Nicchan Tandukkam, what's impermanent is suffering. So why in there the suffering means due to the impermanence. Yada Nicchan. If something changing, it's suffering. And Yam Dukkham Tadanatta. What suffering is not self. Yan dukkhan tadanatta yadanatta tang netam mama neso hamasmi nameto attati eva metan yata bhutan sammapanyaya dattaba. And what's non-self should be truly seen with right understanding like this. This is not mine, this is not this, and this is not myself. So then Buddha saying about all the six sense faculties. So the right way is not just taking this as a learning. If you can remember in our Sunday classes and day-long retreats, we do the whole thing, like thinking, asking back and forth questions from you, like uh, what do you think the I is permanent or impermanent, and then suffering or not, or it can be said me or mine or myself. Likewise, it's better to learn this in that same way. Like when you are learning, asking questions like Chakum Bhikkhave Anicca, the I is impermanent, and if something impermanent, it's suffering, and if something impermanent, suffering, it's not me or mine or myself. Likewise, go with the whole six sense faculties without skipping. So why this lead to the kind of equanimity that this lead to a kind of a level that feels yes, equanimity plus upeka, that means a neutral feeling without attachment. That's a kind of a vipassana, or the insight concentration, or the vipassana samadhi. That's what it creates. So then Buddha saying about after saying about the mind and uh, seeing this, so evam passam bhikkhave sutava arya savako chakkusmimpi nibbindati. Seeing this, a learned, the noble disciple grows disillusioned with the eye, and ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So chakkusmimpi nibbindati means actually it's like I'll bring an example for this. This nibbindati does not sound from these words actually. So think like the cake example. So think that you all received a delicious cake. We all in in-person meeting, and you all received a delicious cake for whose someone's birthday, and so you all having you would like to eat, and so while you are having, someone just checking the batch number and saying, I saw news that this batch number, this cake, asked to revoke, like return, because this contains some poison in this. So think that until that moment you had a great uh, craving to have it, taste it, and think that you are eating it by bit, and if someone try to take it from you, like you may feel like angry. Why he's try to take my one? Can't he ask from someone else? So, but once you feel like this is kind of a poisonous, this is a danger, and that moment in onwards, if someone try to put that cake into your mouth, you will have a strong rejection to not to have and not to happen it. Why? You see the danger in it. You feel it like a real danger. Actually, you see the danger. Why? You know this is a poisonous thing. So likewise, when we see the reality of these six sense faculties, what happened? The literally, the basically, that the enthusiasm, or like to craving to these six sense faculties fade away. So what happens then? Uh, Nibbind, nibbindang virajati. I'm not confident with this translation, like this illusion. So can anyone figure out the good word what from the example which I said, like it's like that means like
Your mind turn away from it, like turn away.
yeah, turn away.
Dispassion,
Yes, I think
Sorry?
Bhikkhu Bodhi.
dispassion. Bhikkhu Bodhi calls it, they
Yeah,
calls
the
it
dispassion
dispassion.
is very good, and it's like
I was around. I think this passion is viraga, but this nibbida, Bhikkhu Bodhi says disenchantment. I think.
okay, disenchantment. It's like, so it's like what's the first word you said, Linda?
Turn away from it. Your mind, you turn away from that. Yeah.
Yeah. So shall we go with then turn away? It's like think that like you we frustrate, like it's not, we are worrying inside in ourselves, but we do not have that feeling like we had before. Think that someone had a great relationship with someone, like more love, more care, and then after some time find like cheating that the other person. So then that moment onwards, that same love is no longer there. So that's how, that sort of feeling. So uh, Linda, say that word again. Dismay.
Turn away, but
Turn away.
yes,
Turn away, right? Okay, let's go with that turn away then. Being like when our mind turn away, the nibbinda virajyati. So then when we have that our mind turn away, or the nibbinda, the what happened, that the craving which we had before is no longer there. The virajyati means rajyati, or the raga means that the attachment or the clinging. Virajyati means the completely opposite. Nibbinda virajyati, viraga vimuchyati. When there is no clinging anymore, what happens? Our mind get freeing from that thing, that attachment, and then that suffering. So an example thing, that you had a relationship with someone and you felt missing and you had a love to that person, and suddenly you found that that person is cheating, and that moment onwards, your mind's like you turn away from it, and you don't have like desire anymore. And after sometimes, I think that after 20 years or so, it's just a memory, and your mind free from that attachment. You don't feel anything. Likewise, your mind free from that. Viraga vimuchyati. Vimuttasmi vimuttamiti jnanam hoti. When you're free, there will be your own knowledge, your own wisdom, that you are freed. Like, then they know that they are freed. So that means free, and then knowing that they are free. If we go from back from to the first, they've experienced freedom, and it's their knowledge. And how it happened? Because their mind freed. Why their mind get freed? uh, because attachments, the clingings, no longer there. How it happened? They see that the impermanent suffering and the non-self in it. So it's like that even someone comes to come to see you, and if that person try to say the all the good things about that the cake, when you know that it's poisonous, no longer your expectations try to catch it, like you don't want it anymore, and it's never ever again create any attachment. So likewise, then kina jati, that's how where the arahant's mind means. The kina jati means they understand that rebirth is ended. That means actually the kina jati means the birth. It does not sound rebirth, but that the birth is ended in here and now. So then you can understand that. And the arahant, we don't say that arahants are away from all the frames which we put to understand a living being. Kina jati and Vusitam Brahmacharya, that spiritual journey has completed. Katang Karaniya, what had to be done has been done. Naparang ittattayati pajanati, there is nothing future for this place. Or Naparang ittattayati, there is nothing anymore to do. That's what it says. Naparang means there is nothing further. Ittattayati pajanati, there is nothing to do further. There will be understanding. So that's what it says. Again, if we summarize, seeing the impermanent suffering and the selflessness in six sense faculties, then mind will turn away from it, and then there won't be any attachment to that, and then mind will be free. Then the noble person will have that knowledge that mind is free forever, and that's where the end of the birth and the complete of the course, and there is nothing furthermore to do. So that's what this sutta says. So you can find the 6 qualities in this teaching, Buddha's teachings. If you can remember, in the first couple of classes we learned about the 6 qualities of Buddha's teachings. Swakata, complete. The whole syllabus is very completely discoursed. Sanditiko, can understand here and now. Akaliko, it's a timeless teaching. Ehipassiko, open to all. Openaiko, inverse, we have to understand within ourselves. Pachatam Veditabbu Vinyohi, they will realize to their wisdom level. Okay. Then the second sutta, Chakkum Bhikkhave Dukkam, not saying about the first thing, then this is another way of thinking, like the same thing, but starting from dukkha. Chakkum Bhikkhave Dukkam, monks, eye is suffering. And what suffering is not self. Yan dukkhan tadanatta. Likewise, describing the same thing, and to that very end of the same sutta. Then starting from anatta, not talking about anicca, not talking about the dukkha. Starting from non-self, and same thing, and then end of the sutta. Then exterior impermanent, that which mean not talking about the 6 sense faculties, but what it receives. Rupa, anicca, rupa impermanent, due to impermanent it's suffering and it's not self. And then about the other outer senses, and then saying the same thing like the previous suttas. Then again exterior suffering, and then exterior non-self, not self. Then interior as so it says ajata nicca tathagata sutta. Okay, let's go through it. Chakkum bhikkhave aniccang atita nagata. The eye is impermanent, and past and future also impermanent, right? Aniccang atita nagatang kopanavado paccuppanna. So if the past I also impermanent, future I also impermanent. So kopanavado, there is nothing to talk about the present. Now, what to talk about the present moment? Seeing this, I learned. So evam passam bhikkave sutava arya savako atitasmin chakkusmin pi anapekko hoti. Saying this, Sutavatu Arya Savako means there are 6 special qualities that Arya Savaka, the noble disciple, have. We will learn that later. So not worry about the I of the past, or like anapekko. Anapekko means no expectation. That's the apekha means the expectation, anapekko means no expectation, and anagata chakkumpi nabinandati. Nabinandati means they say look forward, enjoy the eye in the future. Yes, we can say that it's correct, the translation completely. That nabinandati. Abhinandati means try to be happy from something, expecting to be happy from something. So once someone understand about the reality of the I, the future, about the future I, that expectation to be happy from that also no longer there. And they pachuppannas chakkussa nibbidaya viragaya nirodaya patipanno hoti. So forgetting about the past and not expecting anything about the future, what we have at the moment, pachuppannas chakkussa, Nibbidaya, Viragaya, Nirodhaya, Patipanno Hoti. He's practicing to turn away from it, and dispassion and cessation of the attachment for that. So if you can remember this teaching tallying with what we are learning about the present moment. Past is over, future hasn't come yet. In present, see the rising and falling. So about the past and future, we have to understand and let it go. What we have to do something, it's in this moment. And about all the six sense faculties describing like this, seeing this, evam passam bhikkhave sutavariya savako atitasmin manasmin anapekko hoti anagatasmin manam ni nabinandanti. So this is another way of describing it. Let me check. Manam means the conceit. So I have to go through it. Seventh sutta. In there, the Pali is not here, so I can't find it. So in here, the mana means the conceit. When we say the conceit, it does not just that the conceit. When we say that the idea of superior, any sort of idea, feeling, me or mine or myself. It may be inferior or superior, just feeling as we are saying. So any sort of idea of self. So all
Bante? Sorry.
yeah.
Bante, could it be mana is the mind too, like mano?
Yeah, I think the manasming, maybe the manasming. I'm not sure because I can't find it here. Maybe most of the time it can be because this is a English translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the English English letters are there. I think the manasming must be. Yeah. Not the mana, maybe manasming. Yes. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, means
Yes.
in the mind, right?
Yes. So then it's not mana, it's manasming. Then evam passam bhikkhave suttava arya savako atitasmin manasmin anapekko hoti. Yeah. So then this is talking about the sixth sense faculty, and then it's correct. Thank you, Linda. Like eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. So the same thing, like not expecting, like anapekko about the no expectation about the past, and no like nabinandati, like no expectation to be happy from these sense faculties in the future. And what we are experiencing at the moment, see the rising and falling, and practice our mind to turn away from it, and this viraga, not to attach to it, and for the liberation. So that's what this sutta says. From this sutta onwards, it has like yes, and the same thing here, and then it's 9 p.m. and from next class onwards, I will bring main teachings which says about the attachment. When we learn, I can find it here, but I'll bring it. The main sutta means when we learn this, there will be like misunderstanding that eye and sight, or the ear and sound create like clinged together. Actually, it's not. So there is a nice metaphor that I is independent from the sight, and sight is independent from the I, so that the fetter is the one create the problem. Actually, it's like this. So it says there is a white cow and a black cow connected from like rope. Like connected means that from their neck to neck, connected from a rope. So then actually black cow does not attach to white cow, or cow does not attach to black cow. It happens because of that rope. So likewise, the Chandarag, or the that ego, or that the lust is the reason for the connection. Without that, this like the craving is not something. It's like it's not part of this I, or part of not the side. So that's why we can overcome from that attachment. That's why we can remove that rope and free our mind. So then we need that understanding, and then there are some teachings on the six sense faculties, like suffering from it, and while suffering from that, uh, this six sense faculties create itself suffering, and because of the expectations, there will be another suffering. So there is that way of teaching. And so likewise, there are like a group of teachings. All these teachings help us to free from our mind from the six sense faculties. So what it creates? It creates freedom from our mind. From what? The framings as me, or mine, or myself. So think that we are in a house. That house is like about to, the roof is about to fall on our head. So we are not ready to go outside, because we feel like our world is inside of this. What we are trying to do is, from our own hands, we try to keep that roof from our hands, like not to let it fall. So we are suffering from that. And one day someone saying that it's the nature of it's the falling is the nature of it. So don't try to change it. Just understand, and just go away, go outside, and there is a nice world in the outside. Then you go outside and you don't have any expectation to keep it, and like not to let it fall, like you know that one day it will fall. So actually we are not in that, inside of that roof or the house. We are in the outside, like we are virtually believing that we are inside, that we are there. And in reality, if we go further, we can see we inside of that also, even the outside, that what we feel as me, or mine, or myself, it's just a delusion. When we free, there is no one to identify as this one is the one who freed. Okay. Now it's time for the most difficult thing, answering the questions.
Bante, I have a question. I'm a little confused, I guess. When you reach this point, do you have all the wisdom that you are ever going to have then? I mean, do you stop gaining wisdom when you see this, when you reach this point?
Yes, that's what it says, Sean. So if someone enlightened, there is no question about his enlightenment.
Okay.
Bante, I was curious when it said like disillusionment, cessation, and there's one other. Is that like Vipassana? Am I saying? Do you understand?
Can you describe it a little bit, dude?
So it said like one of the in the readings it says like disillusionment, sensation of the eye, and sensation cessation, like stopping. And when you were teaching
Mm-hmm.
the Vipassana, am I saying that right? It sounded very
Correct.
similar to that.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if those were the same.
Yeah. What we learned there is the same thing here, but actually, the end of suffering means it's not like no. It's not definitely not like no eye, no ear, no nose. It's not like that. End of suffering means end of the attachment to those six sense faculties. So one time Buddha saying there was another practitioner. He's not practicing what Buddha has taught. They had an idea like without experiencing anything uh, can attain the enlightenment. Then Buddha's reply is, then all the deaf people, blind people, they are maybe the enlightened people. They can't literally see or experience anything. So it's not the way.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question, Bante.
Yeah, they are good.
Is enlightenment, or does enlightenment equate the attainment of all knowledge?
All knowledge means not the all these like sense faculty knowledge, five aggregates clinging. So it's knowledge about himself, like he's free from every suffering. The Arahant is free from every suffering. Other than that, he does not basically has all the knowledge on the different ways of understanding. It's like maybe there were some Arahants, they became an Arahant from listening to 4 verses actually. They also they are enlightened, but they may not have the ability to describe it like what we have learned in different perspectives. That's why the Buddha is so special. He had that ability to teach it in different ways. But enlightened means it's not like full of knowledge. Enlightened means understanding, realizing the 4 noble truths, and ending all the sufferings.
Thank you, Bante.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Oh, sorry, Bante. Bante, just to clarify, there was a question about the Nibbida, Viraga, Nirodha, and Patinisakha. That question, Bante, about whether those states are vipassana or not. Bante, aren't those like the state that we gain after doing the vipassana? We contemplate vipassana as the eye is impermanent, what is impermanent is suffering, like that, so and so. And then as the result, we get this nibbida, and then we have this viraga, nirodha. Am I right to say that as well, Bante?
So actually the samatha help to concentrate to understand, because the samatha and vipassana both together help to the realization, because we can't see things as it is if we don't have enough concentration. So the vipassana allows, it's like we think that we are in a dark and suddenly we could able to switch on a light, so then we see things as it is. So think that we had an afraid, we were scared about a ghost, So suddenly when the light on switch on, we know that there is our mind 100% sure that there is no ghost. Likewise, someone see the impermanence and suffering and the selflessness in the six sense faculties. Just understand about that the cake, someone see that it's definitely this is a dangerous poisonous one. So then what will happen? The nibbida is like no, like it's like the okay, turn away the mind. So it's like it's just happening, like it's the next effect of the cause. What is the cause? He saw the reality. Actually, it's not something person gain or achieve something. When someone see things as it is, that's what happening. Then nibbindam virajyati. So then mind turn away, that there is no that lust and then the expectation ego as he had in the past. So again, remember that the relationship thing, that someone had so much of love, think that it's his first love and so much of craving, and he can't forget, always have that missing feeling, and suddenly understand that in just okay, try to something that someone started to chat with someone, uh, us believing that this person is a really good person, and from chat they created a kind of a connection in between them. Now he can't be away from that person. Now he has so much of love, and now he has pain and suffering. Now he want to overcome from this because the other person is not coming online and can't see where he is. Only that the virtually they had the connection. Now he's going to meet someone, and he says he's a technician, and he just check it and say, okay, I'll find where he is. I'm a techie person, and if he is in this internet, I'll find, and he give. And he is checking it and suddenly find out the person he loved, the she is ChatGPT or Grok or AI. Now what happened? All the love no longer there. Now it happened, turn away, not seen the reality. So then what happened? And the viraga, vimuchyati, the desire freed from his mind. Then he has knowledge that I no longer have that lust which I had in the previous. Okay.
That's happier than the previous state, Bhante. It's free.
Amazingly happy, because that's true. Like when we have attachment, we feel like that the fulfillment happening is there when I see that person, when I meet that person. But one day when you free your mind from those problems, you feel much more freedom in you, and you understand that in previous I said happiness to something, it's not real happiness. If you can remember the metaphor we learned in previous from Buddha's teaching, we were in the prison. Even we have marriage, even the whole relationship, still we are doing it inside the prison. Suddenly someone came out of the prison. He does not want to make a mistake and go to the prison again. He never ever want that. He feel the freedom. Okay.
Anyway, Bhante, that's a very amazing explanation, son.
Okay. Sad. Today we learned a nice teaching on six sense faculties. We accumulated many merits, and let's share all these good merits, good karma, with all the divinely powers and with our teacher Pinat Lokuswaminas and all the monastic monks. And let's share all the merits with all of you who gathered today to learn Buddha's teachings, and all the volunteers who are doing volunteering and editing and things, and uploading those things to the internet. And may you all be well, may you all be happy, may you all good wishes come true, and may you all able to understand Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.
Bante, Awasaray Bante, allow us to share Bante and ask for forgiveness. Dhamma friends, you can join me from your end. Okasa Wandami Bante,
Sakeha.
Maya Katang Punyang Samina Anumodi Tabbang.
Sadhu, sadhu, namo dami.
Samina Katang Punyang Maihang Da Tabbang.
Sadhu, sadhu, namo dita.
Sadhu Sadhu Anumodami. Okasa Dwaratena Katang Sabbang Acayang Kamatame Bante.
Kamami, kamata.
Okasa Kamami Bante. Dutiyampi Okasa Kamami Bante. Tatiyampi Okasa Kamami Bante. Sadhu,
Sakeha.
sadhu, sadhu.
Namo Buddhaya.
Bante Teransa.